I didn't even realize I'd be speaking today, but I can say a little bit. Um, I love this university. I love the quantum world. I love looking at all the beautiful lights that you guys are displaying in your own quantum way. You're all gorgeous in your path, and I really honor that. And I really appreciate that because that really encourages me to stay on my path. And I have other people in my life that shine their light and help me to find more light and to really realize that nothing's impossible. So I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank Dr. Paul Drouin, and just thank you so much for this university.
Thank you. This is another love story. You know, she done her work to the history of her daughter, and this is what I said again this morning. You know, you pick something that you have really at heart, and this is an incredible journey, and I think your project will be also online. Yeah, and where maybe you can say a few words about it. I think it's very beautiful.
My work has been pretty much spurred on 10 years of different kinds of research to find help for my daughter, who basically became to the point you couldn't communicate with her. And I finally decided I wasn't really finding answers at all. So I knew that the answer was within me. And for some reason, I was getting blocked. So what I decided to do is healed myself. And I decided to do a lot of clairvoyant work. I became a clairvoyant teacher, minister, spent 6 years with the Clairvoyant Center of Hawaii, which really helped me to start open up answers and to open up doorways as to different people would come into my life. And there was a person that seen my daughter, and they told me they guaranteed me, you're not supposed to guarantee people that something can help someone, but I grabbed at that, and I just cried when she told me that. And I tried it. It was Quantum Biofeedback for her. Now, this could be...
Maybe to say that your daughter had a brain trauma.
Oh, she had a brain injury. Actually, she had 6 scholarships for different universities, and she was a student of University of Pittsburgh, and there was a faulty equipment between Penn State and Pittsburgh, and she did her triple back, her dismount on the balance beam, and the pin just came out as she's pushing off from her dismount, and she hit her frontal lobe of her brain. Now, she walked off from that injury. She laid on the mat for a while, but she got up, and it's one of the meets I actually got to see. And she walked off, and I was very concerned about that fall, but she appeared okay. And as time went on, she slowly started to, decisions were very difficult for her. And she eventually, I encouraged her, or I just let her know that it was okay to let go of her scholarship. And eventually, as time went on, she totally became where you could not communicate with her. She would be talking with her own conversation. She'd be, eventually she would just stare at walls for days. She would lay in the fetal position. She would talk to different entities. And I went to the medical, the regular allopathic, and they had no answers for me. They just told me I should medicate her, and that I was definitely looking in the wrong direction as to it being a head injury, which I really believed it to be. And and they wanted me to actually institutionalize her and heavy medicate her. And I just refused. I didn't even want to go there. And eventually, as time went on, I met someone in Hawaii that does the QEEG, which we were talking about, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and the EEG, and he measured her brain waves, and it proved to be, and he said he was very surprised that it was never, that it was overlooked as a brain injury. And he worked with me. I did the quantum biofeedback. He did the neurofeedback, and he kept on taking measurements of her brains, and her brains were slowly put together in a year's time. But she still had, after that, she still had a ways to go, and I found other things that I worked into the whole program with what I was doing with her. She had beautiful visions. She had places that she talked about where she really was when she was incoherent, and that was when she, just a year and a half ago, that she actually started really telling me what happened, and she actually wanted to talk to me. So it's very interesting where she was, and there are things about that we read about that we don't get to experience, but she got to experience. And also, Dr. Paul talks about the rainbow body. Well, she experienced a lot of those lights and not being connected to it and knowing that she wasn't ready yet. And then eventually there was a time when she becomes connected with the lights above her, and a ball of healing light comes upon her and tells her not to be afraid and to let go. And these are all the things that we're learning. And she goes, I just decided I'm going to let go. I'm not going to be afraid. And now, present time, she's now enrolled in University of Hawaii. She's taking speech classes, which is just so funny because she couldn't even talk. And she's taking zoology, and she's gotten her driver's license again because she ripped up everything. She shredded all her clothing. She didn't have nothing to wear because she her brain was working things out. She had all little bags hidden all over everybody's property, her clothing all shredded, shoes shredded over the fence. But she finally got her license again, and she now drives to classes, and she does yoga, and she goes to Bikram yoga, and she has friends.
Incredible story.